Channel Learn, Earn and Have Fun. So in this video we are going to discuss about AWS IAM services. So in last couple of videos we discussed that why certifications are important, and also I chalked out a plan. Do check the link for more details. In this we'll start with the most fundamental service, which is identity and access management. I say this as a most fundamental because to access any resource or to perform any actions, we will need to understand this. This is comprehensive, almost a 1200 page documentation on AWS if we go to the resources page. But do we need to cover all of this? Maybe if you are a DevOps engineer or if you are monitoring the whole organizational structure of AWS, then yes, we need to go deep down. But to get started and for certification purposes, we definitely need not go into that deep. So we will go iterative. In this video, I will cover just the basics stuff to get started and to build our application. And then in part 2, maybe we will cover some more advanced concept like single sign-on, how to integrate with enterprise directories, how to manage organizations and have groups of user across organization, cross account permissions, etc. So to get started, what exactly is identity and access management? So identity, simply put it, who is trying to access. So a user can log on to the console, or he can write a program which is trying to access a resource, for example uploading to S3 or trying to write some data into Dynamo. And when a user wants to access this, there comes this access management part. So which user can access what resources and to what extent? For example, we might want certain users to have only read-only access to our S3 directories. What is S3? We'll come to that later. The next video is about that itself. We might some of the users to be able to download some reports but not able to upload the reports. Something like that. So the core concepts in IAM for AWS are resources. So for example, buckets, simple notification service, AWS Lambda, and many others. These resources must be protected because these resources, as we all know, that in cloud everything is shared. So maybe there are multiple organizations which are accessing S3 or multiple users who are accessing notification services. So we need to understand that their requests do not overlap. They are able to define boundaries that who can read and write. They can also provide ways to authenticate and authorize users. So these all are the resources which needs to be protected. And how do we protect that? So there comes this policies part. So users, group of users and resources are pretty simple. The policies part, let's see what it is. So policies, simply put, there are set of rules as what operations can be performed on a resource. These policies are then applied to a user or a group, which will bound their actions in boundary of these policies. For example, we define a rule. Let's say allow read only access to S3, allow read only access to Dynamo. We can define another policy, allow read and write access to a particular bucket in S3, allow read and write access to all tables in Dynamo. So these are the rules which we can apply to users. Let's go and have a quick hands-on. We will create some users, we will attach some policies and see how we can provide them access to resources. So in AWS, just log into your console, and if you have recently visited, you can see the IAM in your recently visited section. Otherwise we can simply search here IAM. I go to IAM, and here on the left side we have users. So I have created certain users, but let's do a new user. So let's say that it's user 1 underscore demo, and here this is interesting. We can provide two types of access. One is programmatic access and another is password. So this console is the second part, where if we provide this password, then user can use that to log into the console, and we can restrict his accesses as what he can access inside this console. But we are more interested in programmatic access, because very soon we will build some programs which will access the resources on AWS. So next is permissions, and exactly here is the policies what we need to provide. So I have a group, but let's see that without group how you can do that. So attach existing policies directly. So this is for ease of use. If we provide administrative access, then user will have an admin access, meaning he can access everything via the program. But this is not a good idea, and AWS has listed all of this so that we can use most of them as a ready reference. So let's say that I want something on Amazon S3. Yeah, so we can provide full access, we can provide read-only access. Let's provide a minimal read-only access. Tags I will cover later, let's skip for now. So we have now attached the username, and we have attached the policies and what kind of access it is. Let's create this user. Yeah, so now the most important part here is that once we navigate out from this particular screen, this access key and secret key, we cannot recover the secret key. Access ID will always be there, but we cannot recover the secret key. So let's say that, and this you can think like a programmatic username or and password. So let's say that we show the secret key. You can also download the CSV, and we should make sure that this is not shared with anyone. So this user is now created. We close the screen. So now let's go to the user 1 demo which we just created, and if we go to the security credentials, we see here the access ID, but there is no way to get the secret key again. If we have really lost the secret key, we can click on create access key, and this will again provide you a new access ID and secret key which we should store. Okay, so this is the user. We attached a policy that this user can do read only stuff on S3. Let's quickly go on to the groups. So assume that we have thousands and thousands of users. It will be really messy to create users and attach policy to each and every user. If we want to change something inside the policy, for example, we have provided read-only access to S3, but we want to upgrade a certain set of users to write access also on S3. Then we'll have to go and individually change the policy for each of the user. And that's where comes the group. We create a group, for example, developers group or an admin group or a customers group, something like that, and we assign users to that, and we assign the policy to this particular group. So if we have to make any changes, we make these changes at this group level. So let's just create one quick group. So S3 read only demo. Now we can add the users which are there. So let's say that we add this user, and for this particular group we can attach a policy which we want, which will be applicable to each and every user which will be added to this group. So let's just take the Amazon S3 example. Yeah. Oh, so for some reason it auto search was not working. So let's say that I provide this Amazon S3 read only access and I create this group. So now this read only demo group is created. We have this user agent, and if we go to the permissions tab, we have this Amazon S3 read only thing. If we open this policy quickly, this is what we have been talking about. We have certain resources. Here star means everything on S3, and this is the action. What is allowed? So this is the effect allowed, and what actions are allowed, and to which resources, and who all are allowed to do this. It's all the users who are in this particular group. So this is just a quick demo, and I hope you get the understanding what identity and access management is. In next video we will cover S3, and then we will create an application where we can show how user can programmatically access S3 buckets. We can allow policies, disallow policies, and we can just experiment out how these policies impact the access of resources. So we understood the policies, and yeah, I think let's keep it short so that we can build iteratively after understanding certain more services. And as I have been saying, don't strive for perfection. Keep practicing, keep improvising. We will build bit by bit. Thanks a lot. Keep watching, keep supporting, and I am sure we will make to the certifications very soon. Thanks a lot.